tonight.
Are people hearing me?
Oh, thank you.
No. Hello?
I'll be right back.
Does anybody hear me? That's strange, I can hear it in here, but not, they're
They
not
can't-
on screen.
They can't hear, nobody's saying?
They can't hear me.
Can anyone hear the chair at all?
No. Cannot hear the chair, no.
How about me? Can you hear me?
Say that again, Tammy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Haha.
Then here. It's your meeting.
Oh, there you are. Now I can hear you.
Oh, you could,
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
well, that's good. So then we'll start the meeting before it cuts out again.
You just want to back in, Bruce?
Okay,
Do you want to use my mic?
nope. I'm good. We will call to order then the meeting of the Community Development Citizens Advisory Committee. And we will go on to approval of the December 9, 2020 minutes. Everybody have a chance to read them? Any additions, corrections, deletions? A motion to approve? Pam? Chris?
unmute.
All in favor, say aye.
Hold on a second, are we?
Any opposed? Okay. The minutes are approved. Now we'll go on to to number 3 on the agenda, presentation and discussion of the proposal and the application from Community Partners Campus. Tammy.
Okay, we have Brian Gumness virtually and Kevin Noel here. They are part of the Community Partners Campus. They did ask that we do a presentation first, and then there's a packet of information that they gave you. So let's show the
Video.
video. Okay.
Well, the Community Partners Campus facilities' main focus is to provide a workspace for nonprofits to call home. It will be designed in a way that functions for each one of them individually, but collaboratively at the same time. We're looking at like-driven missions under one roof to better serve those in the greatest need.
Right now, we're facing one of the biggest crises our country has had in terms of people being out of work, people being sick, not having enough resources. So I can't think of any other better investment than in people right now.
We just simply don't have the space for the volume of food. And the more food we have, the greater impact we can make.
The nonprofits that we've identified truly all need new space. Catholic Charities and the services they provide, including the Warming Center and others, are truly insufficient for the needs that are growing.
She was facing addiction, and she has 2 small children. She needs food. She also needs rental assistance. She's having to literally try to take the bus from one end of town to the other end of town, 9 months pregnant with kids in tow. And no one should have to face that.
We need to have more case managers so that we can have somebody that cares for them, talks to them, and helps them move out of the situation that they are in.
A Community Partners Campus is a co-located social service center where a vast majority of basic needs can and should be addressed.
The one-stop location of all of these services being under one roof will allow a single parent to come to one location, get the assistance they need for food or clothing, financial assistance, finding housing, some job training, mental health care. But one of the main things that the Community Partners Campus facility will offer are all the shared spaces. Shared entrance that allows people to be greeted when they come in and directed directions of which they need services for. We'll have a shared kitchen, conference room. It is our intention to have an executive director to operate the building on behalf of Community Partners campus.
We want easy access. We need to be on a bus line. We need to have the exposure so that people driving by know exactly who we are and what we do at Community Partners Campus. That all their needs can be met, whether it be food, clothing, shelter, mental health counseling, physical health, through the free clinic.
The concept of the shared space has been very well received by all the partners that we have brought in to the mix.
We plan on having a food pantry. We plan on having Catholic Charities, including its warming center, but we also have many programs for employment counseling or for adoption services or legal assistance or whatever. A free clinic, community action program.
They will be expert in drug addiction problems. We will have a clinic. So all the services are together.
So many of the clients of the nonprofits don't only have one need. To have all of the services in one spot makes a big difference.
The idea of Community Partners Campus really impacts the quality of life and the quality of service that people can access because we're not operating in silos.
Your dollars are being better spent in a place where there's collaboration.
The vision for Community Partners Campus really will allow our community to stop that downward trajectory of people living in poverty and be connected to a collaborative network of organizations and people that can help them improve their lives.
We want to bring into our clinic people who tend to forego medical care until they're really seriously ill. And the last person that the ER wants to see is a seriously ill diabetic and ketoacidosis who has no insurance. If the clinic is successful, it really will have a pretty profound impact on the financial health of the hospitals.
Reducing emergency room visits, reducing police calls, being able to reduce food insecurity, to be able to provide for our neighbors and our citizens. It's such an exciting project for our community.
It's a whole community effort to make a difference. That's what brings me into this office every day. And that's what drives my passion behind what Community Partners Campus is about.
I do believe we have responsibility to take care of each other. We're a community that supports each other. We're a welcoming community, and that's the community that I hope that we continue to be.
Thank you. Brian, Kevin, did you want to add to it? In the packet, it shows where the proposed building, the parcel that they're looking at. Nope.
Bear with me. There we go.
Yep, go ahead, Kevin. Just make sure the mic is on, please.
Test.
Perfect.
Okay. So the address is 364 Grand Avenue, Wausau. It's located just to the north of Thrive. It used to be used as job service / Judicare. And that's the facility that we've chosen to occupy for Community Partners Campus. I'm not sure if you would like any other background information about Community Partners Campus other than the location that we're looking for. But, well, I'll just give you a few minutes. So about 3 weeks ago, we kicked off our capital campaign. We have an accepted offer to purchase from the seller that we have agreed to, and we're in our due diligence portion of the offer to purchase process. And we kicked off our capital campaign to raise $5.5 million in order to construct a new food bank / pantry, as well as remodel the existing facility into the collaborative space that we've just told our story about in the video. It's a tough nut to crack, especially during the pandemic. Funds can be short, but There are some opportunities for us, and we are going to go for it. We do need to raise these funds by the end of February in order to close early March. We need to close early March in order to be open November 1st. And that is traditionally the opening of Catholic Charities Warming Center. And so we want to have the facility up and ready for the winter of 2021-2022. There's about 15 volunteers within CPC that we've all split off into different sections of the process, from grant writers to finance to administration to construction, and everybody is working diligently to make sure that the partners, the nonprofit partners, as well as the Community Partners Campus is on the same page, and that we design a facility that works for all. So that's kind of our timeline and what we've been up to and what we will be up to in the next 7 or 8 weeks. We're seeking assistance from the Block Grant Program. One of the things that has come up, typically you think of a nonprofit as not paying property tax. And I'm no expert on a pilot tax, but as I understand it, we will, if we do take over the facility in March, we will owe property tax for the entire 2021 and possibly 2022 at a rate of around $55,000 per year. Correct me if I'm wrong as far as how that works, but we will actually be paying back about $110,000 to the city of Wausau in property tax until we can be recognized as a nonprofit in that facility. So that's one of the reasons for our large ask, is really it's just changing hands. And so we're asking for your assistance in that regard.
Does anybody have any questions of Brian or Kevin? During the public hearing part, we'll talk more about funding, and if there's any comments from anybody in the public that wants to ask. But this is your opportunity to talk to them about specific questions. Or specific comments.
Kevin, I had one question about the with the setup of it. Are you with the food bank aspect of it? Are you planning on doing all of your individual distribution out of that site?
Yes.
Okay.
The existing operations of the Neighbor's Place will not change.
Okay.
Chris had a question.
Chris, go ahead.
I was wondering, at this time that the letter was written, that you have a commitment for $350,000. Is that for the total commitment so far? Or is that just for a certain aspect of it?
I'm sorry, if somebody heard that question, could you repeat it to me, please?
Your commitment of $350,000. What was the rest of that question?
As Kevin alluded to, we just kicked off the capital campaign, and we couldn't start really any sooner until we had a location, because we had nothing to sell. So it appears that we really are, struggling to raise the funds needed for this project. The reality of it is we, behind the scenes, have been working with a lot of potential funders, and the support, albeit not formal at this point yet, although all of that is coming, it appears so that our fundraising is struggling a little bit. To your point, yes, when we wrote this, we did have a contribution from the Community Foundation of North Central Wisconsin, and then an anonymous gift, which is a matching grant of another $250 for that total of $350 as listed. Since we wrote this, we now have secured additional funding, and we're just shy of $500,000. We have at least 6 asks out currently, with another dozen or so to go in the next 2 weeks, and more to follow after that, because it becomes a timing on when different agencies, organizations, and individuals would like to hear from us in this request. The very aggressive timeline of which we are on is really being forced and prompted by the urgency in our community. Not only Catholic Charities and the Warming Center and Neighbors Place, but the ever-growing need for food insecurities and shelter and mental health and physical health, all are services that are underserved have a hard time getting to and receiving. And so the concept of having this shared space nonprofit center houses all of those under this one roof and allows those individuals to seek the support and the assistance that they need more efficiently. And because of their common location, collaboratively, our nonprofits will have greater impact because they'll be able to work together, take that individual or family from one agency to the next down the hallway instead of having to, get on your bus, you got to go down this block and then turn up. The whole concept of a shared nonprofit center, shared space nonprofit center, really has great benefits in the communities of which they operate. Nationwide, there's over 500 of them in the country. In the state of Wisconsin, there's a half dozen or so, mostly in the southern part and over in the Fox Valley. We would be the first in central Wisconsin and rural Wisconsin to have this kind of immediate impact as soon as we can open.
Thank you.
I don't want to repeat ourselves from the video, so if there's questions that we didn't address in that video or you didn't hear or understand, please reach out and ask.
Tom, go ahead.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for coming, Mr. Noel, and giving this
I had a
information.
question.
John, we've already got a question going right now.
Oh,
Go ahead.
all right. As it says in the request, the 150,000, that's going to be applied to
sorry about that.
the acquisition of the property, is that correct?
Yes.
Brian, I just had a question about the location. I know there was some news about maybe using.
John?
Is that John again?
John, sorry, Tom Killian was asking a question first. You guys were kind of talking over each other, so we're on Tom's question
Sorry.
first, and then we'll address
Okay,
yours.
sorry.
That's
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
And I think Mr. Noel said, yes, it'll be applied to the property acquisition, correct?
Our total over $5 million budget does include the purchase of the property, but we would certainly need to direct these funds toward the real estate portion of our project.
Okay, John, you had a question.
No, he doesn't want to talk.
John, are you there?
Yep, okay, sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead.
I just had a question about the location. So I know there was some, a few spots that you guys had in mind, like Marathon County Credit Union, stuff like that. So I'm just wondering why you guys decided the location based on what you have decided.
Good question, John. We've had many hurdles over the last 2 years in finding the proper site for Community Partners Campus to call home. And all of those hurdles kind of put up roadblocks that would cause us delay or they just didn't work out for any number of reasons. And I'm not going to get into those necessarily in detail. However, this particular site did check all the boxes based on its location on the bus line near downtown and its rather wonderful accessibility to the population of which the nonprofit partners serve. So it became a real obvious spot as soon as we learned of it, and we've been working with the seller on this property, probably a month and a half, 2 months, and as reported, we have come to terms with an agreed offer to purchase. It really meets our phase one initiative of creating this nonprofit center where all of our original nonprofit partners can move in and be part of.
Okay, Annie has a question.
You do have to turn that on.
I would like to understand or to hear about the land taxes. You said that you have to pay like 55,000? Why? Because you haven't closed the property. How can you have to be responsible for that?
So if it's $55,000 a year, we wouldn't be responsible for the months that we don't own the property. But the months that we do own the property, we are responsible for property tax. As I understand, once a nonprofit takes over a taxable property, there's an application process that needs to be submitted, and it will not fall off until the following year or two. So we are responsible to pay you property tax.
Yeah, until the closing. After the closing, you're responsible, not before.
Oh, that's
All
true.
right.
That is true, yeah.
Okay.
The current owner is responsible prior to closing.
Yeah, the current owner have to give you the check for the amount of the time that he was the owner.
That's true.
So you are not a nonprofit yet then? That's what you're saying?
No, we are a nonprofit.
You are?
We are.
Okay.
But there's something about property tax that doesn't recognize a nonprofit taking over a taxable property until an application process is done. So we are on the hook for the property tax for the balance of 2021. And Brian, I don't know, are we also responsible for 2022, or do you know when that application or when the responsibility for a nonprofit falls away from that?
Well, there is a process that has to go with it, and I don't believe we need to go here with this today, but the reality of it is the application would be due March 1st of this year to be able to qualify as a now owned property of a nonprofit for the following year. So even if we do get closed by March 1st, we will be owing property taxes for 2022. If we can be approved, then perhaps 2023, the property will be deemed as a non-profitly held facility and potentially be taken off the property tax roll.
Okay. Have you tried to ask if they can reimburse the money once you are approved? Because you are a nonprofit.
I would never ask that, because that would be something above and beyond what the rules and laws require. So we want to make sure that we follow the coordinates with the city's rules and laws, and states if they're a part of this as well, or counties. So we would never ask for that kind of favor.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay,
Okay,
Should
thank
we
you.
close?
Yep, then we'll open the public hearing.
okay, we'll close that portion, and.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, yes.
So we're gone. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
I appreciate your time and efforts and interest in what you've volunteered here for.
And thank you, Brian. It's good to see you again, and it's an exciting project. We're looking forward to seeing more on it.
It's good to hear your voice. Talk to you later.
It is an open meeting. You're welcome to stick around if you want to. But you can leave if you want to.
Because we'll be talking about you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna leave. Kevin's gonna sit there. So
Okay.
check in.
Thank you. Number 4 on the agenda, we'll open the public hearing to receive comments on the reprogramming of a portion of the homeowner rehabilitation loan program income funds to a public facility fund, and the reprogramming of the rental energy assistance program income fund to a nonprofit energy assistance program.
That's a mouthful.
That's the longest agenda item you've ever
Yes.
put on here.
So we'll talk about the reprogramming of the homeowner rehab revolving loan funds first. On the, in front of you, we have a request of $150,000 to assist with the acquisition only, not the rehab or anything. It's the acquisition of the building for the CPC nonprofit. In the packet, we distributed how much money we have on hand right now that's uncommitted. It shows that we have $156,685 right now. Obviously, it's the middle of January. I don't know if we had any loans paid off, but we have had loan repayments, so that pot is going to be more. And then on the bottom portion of my spreadsheet, it talks about how much of the new funds that we have committed to this program we have on hand, which is another $177,000. So as you can see, we have plenty of funds in this program right now. We have 6 people on the waiting list. So we're not harming this program at all by reprogramming the funds. It's constantly revolving. Every month we get more and more funds in. And as you see on the top of my spreadsheet, it talks about how we reprogrammed money in the past, how much money we've done it in the, what programs. And because we have right now about $2.3 million of loan funds out in the community, which is awesome. So we've got a great loan portfolio. So the request on the table is the $156,685. Right now, we're not making a decision. That will be after the public hearing, but if anybody has questions about that pot of money or comments, now's the time to ask.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions about this? Kevin? Okay, anybody on the committee have any questions about this? Okay. Seeing none, we will...
Then on the second portion is we have had some revolving loan funds on our books for longer than I've been here, and that's been a long time. Friday will be my 25th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Man, I'm old. But we have about $9,500 that's been sitting here not doing anything. And we thought it's a great opportunity. It was money that the state gave us back in the day to help with energy efficiency for rental properties. Now we have a rental energy or a rental rehab program that kind of incorporates all those things. So what we talked about is if we could utilize this money and do a nonprofit energy grant for nonprofits to do some sort of energy efficiency upgrades to their building. It might be a new water heater, it might be a new furnace or boiler system, it might be just changing out light fixtures. It could be almost anything, and it would be up to $1,500 per nonprofit. Obviously, they'd have to be located in the city of Wausau. And then I think that we'd be able to help those nonprofits save money in their budget and put the money to good use. Any questions, comments? Yeah, Tom.
Any particular set of nonprofits you had in mind currently?
None whatsoever. It's first come, first serve, and we'll work with United Way. We'll work with whoever if you know of anybody, send them our way.
I have a comment.
Yes.
WPS have all those incentives also.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even those incentives, I know for a fact that nonprofits suffer a great deal. I think that's a very nice initiative to give these funds to the nonprofits. I know that they struggle a lot, even though WPS helps, So I think it's a very good idea.
Good.
Any other questions, comments? Okay,
I had a comment, Bruce.
okay.
So this is in my line of expertise with energy efficiency. So one thing that I was going to comment on is that if this money is given to nonprofits, I think there should be some sort of stipulation as to how it's being used in regards to energy efficiency. So what I mean by that is, if they're just going to install light bulbs, like that kind of thing, sure. But if they're going to do like a major upgrade, such as a furnace, a water heater, or whatnot, I think we should make a stipulation where they have to use the Focus on Energy program. And I think this can be beneficial for two ways. One, they can get a rebate on if they install something like that, if it's insulation, air sealing, furnace, boiler, whatnot. And then number two, that also means they have to use a reputable contractor. So they have to have somebody, like a contractor that is trained, and then they have to file the paperwork for the nonprofit, for a rebate. So not only is a nonprofit going to get some money back, it has to be installed by somebody that is a trade allied contractor by Focus on Energy.
I absolutely agree with you, John, and that's how we handle things. We would only reimburse once we had a paid receipt from a contractor showing what they did. So no, we wouldn't just cut a check for $1,500 and give it to whoever. They would have to document what they did, and yes, it would have to be energy efficient. It can't just be some light bulbs. It'd have to prove that maybe they upgraded some light fixtures to help, and yes, it would have to be done by a licensed electrician. So I agree with you 100%.
Sure. So I guess mainly just, I was just hoping if there's a way they can apply for the rebate through the Wisconsin Focus on Energy program. So.
Oh, sure. We'll walk them through that too.
Great. Thank you.
Nope. Good comments.
Any more questions for the public hearing portion? We'll mention that 3 times.
Yep.
I have a question.
Ely.
Yes, Ailey, go ahead.
So, Tammy, would it be now managed through the city, or would your office manage the grants, or does this committee still have to listen to that process too, or is it a different process?
No, we would handle it through our department.
Okay.
We obviously can report back to you to let you know how things are going. But no, we wouldn't have to bring each request to the committee.
Okay.
Yeah, generally, Ailey, when we do these things, she'll make, Tammy will make a year-end report for us of how things were used, but usually the things that come before the committee are funding requests or reprogramming of funds like we're doing right now.
Okay.
Okay, nothing more to come before this public hearing? I'll say that 3 times, and we'll close the public hearing. Going on to number 6, the discussion and approval of the reprogramming of homeowner rehabilitation loan program revolving loan funds into the public facility project.
So, back to any questions that you had. Otherwise, how does the committee feel about reprogramming the $150,000 request?
I think it's a great idea.
I do too.
Agree.
Agree.
Are you guys going to make this too easy?
Yes.
I like it.
I think we are.
Can we have a motion?
Let's have somebody make a motion.
I make a motion.
Okay. Annie made a motion. Ingrid seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Number 7.
So now we're going on to number 7, the discussion and approval of the reprogramming of the rental energy assistance revolving loan fund into a nonprofit energy assistant grant program.
Very good. Any
Getting tired of
questions?
these long agenda items.
Any questions or concerns on that? Otherwise, if someone would like to make a motion to approve it?
Don't everybody jump at once. Pam? Chris does the second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Great, thank you.
So these 2 items will be going, Kevin wants, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know if your meeting is going to continue, but
We're almost done.
I just wanted to thank you for your support. And on behalf of Brian Gumness, Kevin Noel, the Community Partners Campus, and all of the nonprofit partners, our wholehearted thank you.
Well, we thank you. We think it's going to be a great
you.
project, and thanks for letting us be a small part of it.
There'll be more opportunities.
Great. We look forward to that. Thank you, Kevin.
Bye. So the next step with both of these programs is we have to take it to City Finance Committee for their approval, and that will be the second Tuesday of February. I want to say the 12th, but don't have it memorized. And then the following council meeting. So we should easily be able to get these approved before their closing to help them with buying the property. So timing is really good. That's why I appreciate you guys jumping into this meeting as quick as you did.
Okay, anybody have anything else? We'll take a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Okay. All in favor? We're out.
All right.
Hi.
Bye, thank you.